Now, look, everyone here has been here before, and I talk about these a lot. So a lot of you might know this, that I went through a serious auto accident, and I actually had severe traumatic brain injury. You haven't been here before, you're new. But I had severe traumatic brain injury earlier in my life. And this is a story from part of that when I was actually coming back from the hospital. And we're talking about Triumphant Returns, and this was kind of going to be my Triumphant Return. See, I was coming back from the hospital after being in the hospital for a little more than 2 months. I had been in a coma for 5 days, and now I was finally coming back to my hometown. I had been in Philadelphia, and I was coming back to my hometown in small town Pennsylvania, and this was my big Triumphant Return. And it was the sort of thing where it was almost like a movie scene. Like the day was December 23rd, and so it was like the song says, I was going to be home for Christmas. And what's more, I was going to be home for New Year's Eve. And this was the big New Year's Eve from the year 1999 to the year 2000. And I don't know how old all of you are, but assuming we weren't all swallowed up by the Y2K bug, I was going to go home for the mother of all New Year's celebrations. See, my small town Pennsylvania hometown was going all out with a first night celebration. And if you don't know, a first night celebration is this sort of community-wide festival where the town comes together and they have a street fair, and there's the Rotary Club was going to be dancing the polka, and there was going to be live music downtown and lots of fried food, and it was going to be my first time downtown after the accident. And so I was going to go there, and I went with my parents, and I was still kind of putting things together, so I was kind of walking around with my parents, but everyone was there. There was all my friends from school and from the community, and then there's all my parents' friends, and then there's all these people who I had never met before, but who had heard about me through their friends, because it's small town Pennsylvania, and everybody knows everybody, and I thanked each and every one of them for their kind love and support, and I said, thank you so much for helping me and get back to my life. Thank you so much. Thank you. 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 And sometimes it would get awkward because I was still piecing things back together, and I didn't really know when to stop. And this was going to be the big celebration. This was my big triumphant return. It was like I was coming back to life. It was a new life for the new millennia. That's like a little slogan right there. Oh, this was it. Countdown timing. It's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
Now, this is a story about triumphant returns, and this was a big triumphant return, but I gotta be honest, we were talking about it before, it's when you move on to the next stage of your life. A return isn't a stopping point, but it's moving on to the next stage of your life. And things got hard. I thought the time in the hospital, the time recovering from the accident was hard, but things got a lot harder. Trying to piece it all together, trying to relearn how to interact with the world. It was a whole new mystery of complications that I could never expect. So the triumphant return was really just going on to the next step. And this is where I go off script a little bit, because I've been trying to figure out this story. See, I've told this story dozens, if not hundreds of times as part of a larger storytelling piece that I tell. And I've come back to it again and again, and I'm trying to figure out what this story means to me, and that's kind of what this story about the return is, because I keep returning to the story. I keep trying to return to something that I've been to millions of times, like my hometown, and I expect things to be the same, because we always want things to be the same. That's just something we say, yeah, we want change, but only to a point. What we really want is the same with a little bit more garnish, a little bit more gleam, a little bit more shine, the same comfort, the same things we know. And that's kind of how I feel about this story. I keep coming back to it. Like I said, I've told this story dozens, if not hundreds of times. And I know this story, and I always come back to it in the same way, where I tell the story and it's about me moving on to the next stage of my life. But with this topic, thank you, Amy, so much for bringing this topic up, because it made me come back to this story and really look at the question, why do I tell it? what does it really mean? And I came to realize that when you return to someplace, you're expecting things to be as they were before, but also there's a set of expectations from the people around you. They see your return and they expect you to be as you were before, but you're not. You go through shifts and changes, and there's an old idea that we come to again and again when we tell these sort of stories of you can't re-enter the same space, it's always changing, you can't fart in the same river twice or whatever it is. You keep coming, things keep changing, and it's impossible to go back to the same thing. And the funny part about that is that we keep coming back to that same idea, where we keep returning to that same idea. So I've been thinking about this a lot over the past week, and I'm realizing returning somewhere isn't just about going back to the same space, going back to the same spot, returning to the same story, saying the same words. It's about looking at things in a new way. Because when I returned to my hometown of Bloomsburg, I was forced to readjust my life and see how this new mind and this new body fit into this place that I had already been before. And I returned to this story, and I realized that I need to look at this story, I need to say, why is this story so important? Why is this story affecting me in some way? And I come to this story right now, and this was the part that was really bothering me as I was preparing for this piece tonight. I realized that usually the kind of the convention in storytelling and any sort of performance art, that there's some big grand finale, there's some big conclusion, there's some big ending. But sometimes there's not. So yeah, thank you.